Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to look at key number 2, clarity. Now, most people don't know what they really want. If you ask them, they can't really describe it to you, but they can tell you what they don't want. And we call that contrast. So the tool we're going to use to figure out our clarity is actually called contrast and clarity. So you'll find a worksheet, the contrast and clarity worksheet. And what I want you to do is on the left-hand side where it says contrast, I want you to write down this question. What I know I don't want is. You're going to ask yourself this question, and when you speak it out loud, your subconscious mind, its job is to find an answer for you. So you're going to say, what I know I don't want is. And your mind's going to dig in and find all of the answers to make that statement true. So here are some examples that I wrote. What I know I don't want is to work with people I don't like. And what I know I don't want is not to be paid my true value. What I know I don't want is to compromise my purpose. These are things that I know I don't want in my future, and I can identify those. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to take 5 minutes. You're going to put me on pause. Ask yourself the question out loud. What I know I don't want is. And then just pay attention to what comes up for you. Write it down. Okay, we're going to take 5 minutes, write down all your contrasts, and when you're finished, unpause and come on back. Okay, welcome back. Did you get all your contrasts down? Like I said, most people can identify their contrasts more than they can identify their clarity. I don't know what it is, but we spend a lot of time thinking about the things that we don't want. And what we're trying to do is to get you geared toward thinking about the things you do want. And that's where you put your energy. You've got all these systems. One of them is called the reticular activating system. It's literally a location inside of your brain. And what it does, it sorts through the world for all of the things that you should pay attention to. But it has another job. It also sorts through the world for all the things you should not pay attention to. And that's the majority of things, because you can only really focus on 7 things at once. And you're getting about 220,000 bits of information through all of your senses. And it's overwhelming. So the reticular activating system is making you not focus on the things that are not a priority for you. It's literally either scaring you or telling you that thing is bad. It's literally talking you out of focusing on most of the stuff that's coming in through your senses, so you can focus on the 7 bits that you say are important. Now, here's the catch. Remember, your subconscious, the main job is to keep you alive. And it's constantly trying to talk you out of taking risks. So those 7 bits of information that you're constantly focusing on, the things that you are constantly paying attention to and consciously and subconsciously pouring your energy into, they're not always things that are healthy for you in a physical sense or mentally or emotionally. Some of these things come from your scarcity and your core wounds, and you're literally trying to focus on things that keep you from putting yourself at risk. So a lot of times, the thing that your reticular activating system is focused on is the things that you don't want. Now, I know we've used the word don't in the statement here, but your subconscious mind doesn't hear don't. So when you say, I don't want this, I don't want that, your brain actually focuses on it. Now, we're using it here as a question because I want you to focus on it. When I say what I know I don't want is, you have to think about what you don't want. So you're actually tricking your subconscious mind by using the word don't here. But when you use don't to attract things, it doesn't work. If I said to myself all day, my contrast, what I don't want is to work with people I don't like. Well, guess what I'm focused on? And guess what I'm going to sort through the world for? People I don't like. So now we have to use the clarity. So on the right-hand side, we have another question. And the question is, then what do I want? And that's the question that we really want to focus on. Then what do I want? And we actually put on the end is. Is present time, right now. So this is the way it works. We're going to ask ourselves the complete question. What I know I don't want is to work with people I don't like. Then what do I want is to attract and work with people I like and respect. Now, some of you are going to have a problem with the clarity question because it's not grammatically correct, but I'm not talking to your conscious mind. And when you're sorting through the world, you're not either. You're going through all your filters, your history, your paradigm of the world, all these things. That's what's really helping you to decide what's real for you. Your perception is real. That's your reality. The only problem is I am literally looking at the world from a different perspective. Two people can't occupy the same space at once. So even if we're standing side by side, we're getting a different view. Now, if you're standing on the opposite side of the issue, you're not seeing anything that I can see, and I'm not seeing anything that you can see. And if you don't believe me, try this out with a friend or a loved one. Just get an object, put it between the two of you, and then describe your reality. And what you'll see is you're seeing the front of the object, and that is your reality. But your partner is seeing the back of the object, and that's their reality. And because you're standing in two different positions, your realities will not match. Now, who's right? You, with your perspective of the front, or your partner with their perspective of the back, which is really their front? It's tricky. So I'm not talking to your conscious mind because your conscious mind doesn't get all of the information. It's not tapped in the source. It's trusting its eyes, it's trusting its ears, it's trusting what it feels. But here's the problem. It's also trusting what you've experienced in your past. All the emotion, all the trauma, all the core wounds, those things are alive and well inside of you right now. And when you're under pressure, that's where you go to. And that's the problem. We build ourselves up to be this person, this mature, responsible, experienced, skilled person that we've taken all this time and energy to build up to. But as soon as you don't feel safe, you can't access any of that. You go right back to that moment where you lost it. And for me, that was when I was 9, when my dad was killed. So when I'm under extreme pressure, I go straight back to that 9-year-old kid. And he made up a lot of stuff to help protect himself in this world, just like you did. I don't know when it was for you, but sometime in your life, you had some trauma, you had some drama. And in that moment, with the skills you had available to you, you created this reality. You created this way of being that protected you. And it was totally appropriate. It was totally appropriate for me at 9 years old to think the world was a dangerous place and that I wasn't enough without my father to make it. That's totally appropriate for a 9-year-old to think. But as an adult male, it's just not appropriate. Me with my own family, with my own child, it's not appropriate for me to be in my 9-year-old mentality. So a lot of these things, you don't even know what they are. They're buried away. And we do that so that we can move on with life. It's only when you're under extreme challenge and you feel unsafe that you go back to these places. So I'm not a psychologist. We're not gonna go dig up all this stuff. And it would just take too long anyway. Think about it. If we had to go back and dig into your subconscious and try to pull up all these memories and all these traumatic experiences, if we could actually access them, then we would have to bring them into the conscious mind, and that's where we'd have to deal with them. Your conscious mind can't change anything that's in your subconscious. So if you're doing positive affirmations and all that sort of stuff, they work, but only when you can access your conscious mind. And that doesn't happen when you're under threat. When you're under threat, you go into your lizard brain, and you're either gonna fight or flee, or you're gonna freeze. It's a nervous response. You think it's psychological? It's not. It's coming out of your nervous system to help you get out of there and escape that danger. once the danger's gone, then you come back online and now you're reasonable. And then you're looking at yourself going, who was that person? And why did I act that way? That's not me. It is you under threat. So we're going to use this contrast and clarity exercise. And the clarity, the statement, then what do I want is. And we're telling the subconscious mind, this is me. So don't get hung up on the fact that it's not grammatically correct, but read the statement and read it out loud. So if I read my statement, what I know I don't want is to work with people I don't like. Then what do I want is to attract and work with people I like and respect. And once I make that clarity statement, then I scratch out the contrast. I don't need it anymore. And we're going to go through everything that you wrote down, and you're going to read out the statement. What I know I don't want is, read your contrast, not to be paid my true value. Then, what do I want? Question. Is, statement. To honor myself and work with people who recognize and pay my true value. And you're going to continue until you get everything on your contrast and clarity list sorted. Now, what you might find is when you discover one bit of clarity, and you really do discover it, it's not coming from your conscious mind. You're talking to your subconscious, and it's telling you the truth. When you ask yourself, then, which cancels out your contrast, what do I want? It has to find it for you. Its job is to find it. And then when you say is, it becomes you now. So, again, put us on pause, take 5 minutes, go through your contrast and clarity. If you need more time, please take the time. And when you get all of your contrasts scratched out, canceled away, and you get clear on all of your clarity, then come back and we'll finish up. Okay. Put us on pause, and I'll see you in 5.